Dear students, welcome to the Institute for Humanities. Today, we will again have a look on another very important question from previous year CUET exam, and this particular question comes from the comparative politics and its approaches. Normally, students have unnecessary fear as far as the comparative politics. Maybe they really do not have the idea what exactly the comparative politics is. So, comparative politics in modern times is primarily the contribution of American political scientists. It is influenced by behavioralism. What has been the moving force towards the revival of this discipline? The need to study the newly independent countries. And hence, one way of understanding the comparative politics is understanding the politics of developing societies. So, today's questions are from the various approaches to comparative politics. For your information, I just want to tell that broadly the approaches and even comparative politics can be categorized into two broad phases. Till Second World War, when it is a traditional comparative politics, and after Second World War, when modern comparative politics begins. If traditional comparative politics was focusing on the Western countries, the modern comparative politics focus on the third world societies or the post-colonial states and developing societies. If traditional comparative politics was about using the historical, legal, and the normative approaches, the modern comparative politics comes with many approaches which are inspired by behavioralism, starting with systems approach, structural functional approach, and other approaches like political culture, modernization, and political development. And a must thing for all students to know is a very important statement for all objective exams: the concept of bringing the state back in. This is the concept given by Theda Skopol. What does the statement highlight? The statement tells that we should be ensuring that our discipline does not get submerged into the discipline of sociology, and hence let us bring back the centrality of a state in our analysis. And hence emerges a new, very interesting and very important approach, and that is Neo-Institutionalism. So today we will also tell you who are the pioneers of bringing the Neo-Institutional approach, as well as what exactly is a Neo-Institutional approach, where we are going to study the institutions in a different way by incorporating the concepts from behavioralism. The Neo-Institutional approach is based on the assumption that behavior shapes the institution, but institutions also constrain the behavior. So now let us begin with the question. What is the question, and do we have capacity to answer the question? So now this is the question: which among the following statements are true about the different approaches to the study of comparative politics? First, institutional analysis examine the functioning of and relationship between institutions in a given movement. Yes, and you should know that institutional approach has been a very predominant approach in the traditional comparative politics. So, institutional analysis goes for study of institutions. Yes. So, institutions, what are political institutions? Parliament, judiciary, executive. So, how comparative politics was studied earlier? Through the constitutions. Fine. So, this statement is correct. Now, new institutionalism is a revival of institutionalism. Correct. That looks at how institutions shape decisions and define interest. Yes. So, new institutionalism is based on understanding of the limitation of behavioral approaches as well as the institutional approaches, and it gives a new perspective to study the institutions as well as to study the political behavior. And as I was mentioning, new institutionalism is inspired by Theda Skopol's call for bringing the state back in. So this statement is also correct. Now, behavioral approach focuses on the study of constitutions, institutions and organizational charts. Yes, so behavioral approach goes for statistical methods. Behavioral approach focuses on a study of constitutions and institutions and organizational charts. No, because it takes the study of political science actually away from the constitution, from institutions to system, from constitutions to structural functional approaches. So C is not correct. Now, structuralism examines the relationship among parts rather than parts themselves. Very true. So this is what is called a structural approach. And one of the famous structuralists is Karl Marx. I hope you remember that when Karl Marx studied or gave his views on the state, he has not just studied the state, he has studied the entire social structure by dividing the social structure into the base and superstructure. Fine. So structuralism examines the relationship among parts rather than parts themselves. Correct, because the easiest way is to remember Marx base and superstructure model. Now, the rational choice approach explains political action through statistical generalizations rather than interest of actors. No, on the contrary, rational choice school deals with the interest of the actors. Rational choice school is one of the sub approach developed under Neo-Institutionalism, where the focus has been on decision making and whether the decisions are being made keeping in mind the idea of rational choice. It is heavily borrowed from economics. Okay, so if we talk about a statistical generalization, so statistical generalization is a feature of sociological approach developed in Neo-Institutionalism. Fine. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is A, the correct answer is B, and the correct answer is D. Fine. It means option 1 is the correct answer. I hope you have understood. Now let us see if we can provide some information to you further. Yes. So because normally students find it difficult, the institutional approach, so we have given you some key points. Neo-institutionalism, they study how structures are shaped by norms and culture. It combines traditionalist and behavioralist, and the three branches are rational choice, sociological and historical institutionalism. So now remember these two personalities, John Olson and James March, March and Olson, and what is their significance with the publication of their book Neo-Institutionalism, Organizational Factors in Political Life. First major text of institutional approach emerges. So be it CUET, be it JRF, they can always ask the question on these two personalities. So I hope this discussion is building your base. Thank you.